The Channel 18 News, I'm Jim Rogers. Two leaders of the organized crime ring that stole ATVs in the Sulphur Springs area and across 3 states made plea bargain agreements in 8th Judicial District Court Thursday afternoon. Christopher Lee Chambers, age 29, was sentenced to 15 years, and Dustin Kyle Garcia, age 33, to 28 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Both defendants will do 1/2 of the time on their sentence before being eligible for parole, according to Clay Harrison, Assistant District Attorney. In February of this year, Garcia of Mesquite was arrested in room 221 at the Mesquite Inn in Seagoville, Texas. In April, Chambers of Maybank was arrested. Texas A&M University Commerce Nursing and Health Sciences Building project received official scope and budget approval at the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents meeting in College Station on Thursday. The new $46 million facility will house the departments of Nursing, Health, and Human Performance and the new Biomedical Institute for Regenerative Research. It's scheduled to open in spring of 2019. American muscle and foreign exotic cars compete this weekend at Wanna Go Fast at the Sulphur Springs Airport. Gates open for spectators at 9 a.m. Saturday and on Sunday. The event is limited to 150 cars each, but cars that are entered are allowed to run multiple times. Cars compete against the clock and a radar gun to achieve the highest speed in the 1/2 mile shootout. Many cars break the 200 mile per hour barrier. A spectator day pass is $20 per day, payable at the gate, or you can purchase a 2-day pass for $35. Kids 12 and under pay only $10 each day. Veterans ceremonies were conducted Friday at 11 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial at Celebration Plaza.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, you will stand and face our flag. We're going to have the pledge of allegiance by Abby White, Sulphur Springs High School student.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll remain standing as a Marine Corps detachment lowers the flag, and we have the national anthem. I'm a veteran and I'm proud of it. I'm also very proud to be able to have the honor and the privilege to introduce our speaker today, retired Colonel Jim Ray. Lieutenant Ray was on the 7th mission in Vietnam, about 105. Got shot down. He was immediately captured and taken to the Hanoi Hilton, where he was a captive for almost 7 years. Let me say that again, 7 years he was captive. Colonel Ray has received many accolades
school called Harvard on the Brazos, Texas A&M University. But the privilege and honor and introduce Jim Ray, our Colonel Ray. Thank you, Aggie. Thank you, Jerry. Yes, sir. And thank you, Tommy, for organizing this group and for keeping alive and passing on to subsequent generations what it means to be a veteran and to honor those who have made sacrifice, sometimes it's a sacrifice of months or years, and some whom we honor, especially on Memorial Day, we honor those that sacrificed what President Lincoln called that last full measure of devotion that our nation might live. Often I am asked how I was able to endure and survive almost 7 years. I don't want to exaggerate, Terry, but 6 years, 9 months, and 4 days. But there's a thing called patriotism. When my niece asked me, she was researching a high school paper, what patriotism means, I told her that patriotism means wanting to know and understand and appreciate and pass on to subsequent generations the history of our nation and the importance of the founding documents that created the most special, the most unique civilization in the history of mankind. Amen. These documents include the Mayflower Compact, in which groups of pilgrims and groups that were non-committed to any religious group knew that in founding those early colonies, they had to work together regardless of their faith, regardless of their beliefs. They had to come up with a contract that would sustain all of them. That was the Mayflower Compact, very important to our history. The next document, the Declaration of Independence, which declared our independence from England. And the next document, the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution that starts, "We the people." The thing that I emphasized to my niece at that time was that this was the first time in the history of mankind that a public document declared that the power belongs to the people, and the people then give to government those limited powers that are necessary to govern. All previous civilizations, all previous nations, all previous organizations have been very authoritative, what we call top-down, authoritarian. Whether the authoritarian leader was a churchman, whether he was a king who earned power by just sheer might, whether it was a ruling class, aristocracy, all previous governments were based on the idea that the authority was all held at the top, and that those leaders then could, on their own benevolence or their own necessity, could pass out a few privileges and a few rights to their subordinate institutions or to the people. Ours was the first experiment in vesting power with the people. That is why our Constitution is unique. And if somebody says, well, we're unique only in the same way that the people of Greece believe that their government is unique, or the people of Italy believe their government is unique, they miss the point. And if in your history you haven't learned what makes America unique and special, your teachers have let you down. We, the people, own this country. It is we who delegate to government those few rights that they need to govern us effectively and to provide those services that we in small groups cannot provide. Our governments over the years have usurped a lot of things that don't belong to a centralized government. The way for us to go forward and preserve that which all of us as veterans pledge to do, whether officer, non-commissioned officer, or enlisted, is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Celebration Association sponsors a tasting of Sulphur Springs at Celebration Plaza Saturday evening.
My name is Katie Harwaz.
My name is Michelle Incy.
Okay, what you got coming up Saturday?
Saturday we have a Friendsgiving, a Taste of Sulphur Springs, which is a benefit that we're doing to give back to Dinner Bell at First United Methodist Church. We have 11 restaurants that are going to be coming to the square and bringing one of their signature dishes. So tickets are $15 for an individual. You basically just get to come out and try 11 restaurants in one day. Michelle, any more to add to that?
We're going to have great music, dancing, just a true evening of the community coming together to have a great time, support a great cause, and of course eat. We love eating, and we have so many wonderful restaurants downtown that service our community on a regular basis, and it's so wonderful that we're coming together as a group to support such a worthy cause. Dinner Bell at this time of year, they need help between here and January. It's a lot of long, cold months, and they provide such a wonderful ministry to our community.
I'll put you on the spot. Do you have a list of the restaurants?
A list, I can rattle some off. We have Plain and Fancy. We have Lindsay's. We have Roma's Italian Restaurant. We also have Muddy Jake's, Caps and Flask, Bayou Jack's. Our new restaurant coming in the Alcove, is actually going to participate.
Itsy Bitsy, of course.
Itsy Bitsy Bakery, of course. And I feel terrible if I left anybody off, but you did put me on the spot.
Okay. Tell me how this operates. What do? If you want to come down here and eat, what's the process?
Process is we will have a ticket booth set up. Come find us for the ticket booth. $15 for an individual, $25 for a couple. Come in.
$10 for child.
$10 for child. We'll give you a wristband, and that is going to allow you access to all the food that's on there. And it'll just be buffet style on the square. We'll have tables and chairs set up, plenty of plates, plenty of food, hopefully.
A full 6-course meal.
And who's putting this on?
Celebration Association.
And it's benefiting the Dinner Bell for First United Methodist Church.
Tell me about this celebration. What?
Association. We are.
Tell me about the Celebration Association.
We are a group of locals that has gotten together to put on events that'll actually benefit the entire community and bring everybody down.
It started as being downtown businesses, but we're expanding. We want to thank Grocery Supply for their generous donation. Fix and Feed, they donated towards the Friendsgiving, the Taste of Sulphur Springs. The Bookworm Box was amazing. They've helped us to get the donations. the student council for Sulphur Springs. They've painted some beautiful pumpkins. We have the Girl Scouts involved, 4-H. I want to especially thank Johanna for organizing them and getting everybody involved with this. Miller Grove has provided some beautiful stuff. Dana's has provided a centerpiece for us. We have just had a really great community response. This is truly the community coming together. It is just the group of business owners. Our area is community owned and community grown. It's wonderful. Who else did we do?
We also had Alliance Bank and Guarantee Bond were some of our sponsors for this event.
Texas Heritage. Texas Heritage. So we want to really thank them. It's a community event. We wanted to be kids, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, everybody. We want people of all ages to come out and have a great time and get to give thanks for what a wonderful community we live in. Now tonight, just as a side note, we are going to have Luke's.
Luke's for an evening.
And what time does this start?
On tomorrow night and tonight. Everything starts at 5 o'clock. And from 5 to 8, we're going to be out there with food, dancing, and just lots of fellowship together.
You have a band or just music?
We have Lonnie Fox. He's so much more than just music.
Garrett Glass of Guarantee Bank and Trust is also a member of the Lions Club, and he stopped by to tell us about the Lions Club lighted Christmas parade coming through downtown Sulphur Springs Friday, December 2nd.
The Lions Club lighted Christmas parade is coming up, and it's coming up pretty fast. We always put it on the first Friday of December, and that first Friday of December this year is on December 2nd.
Wow, that's early in December.
Yeah, and that's where it seems like every year. I think last year it was on the 6th or 7th, so it gives us an extra week. But this second, it definitely flies up on us pretty quickly.
Well, it gives us a lot of time to then enjoy the Christmas spirit once we've got it going on December 2nd.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I mean, but then there's always the Christmas parties here or there with the companies, and then friends wanting to throw one, and I guess all the family ones that we have to go to as well.
Mm-hmm. We are blessed around here. Let me tell you, I talked to someone the other day, and they said, a parade at night? And they just hadn't, well, they liked the idea, but they hadn't caught on the fact that we do that in Sulphur Springs.
Yeah, the parade at night, and that's kind of where everybody's, well, how are you going to see it? And that's the big thing, where it's the lighted Christmas parade. So every float, and they put on Christmas lights. Me personally, I like the multicolored lights, but a lot of people just do the standard white lights. But any way that the float is lit up, whether it's a float, a car or a horse. We have had a few horses in it or tractors. As long as they're lit up some way with Christmas lights, we definitely allow it in the parade.
How fabulous. Now, do you have a big sponsor for this?
Our big sponsor this year has actually switched to Carriage House Manor. They are our title sponsor of the parade. We do have a few other sponsors as well, which is Alliance Bank, City National Bank, Farmers Electric Co-op, Tolliver Ford, and J. Hodge Chevrolet.
Now, will the floats and entries be judged?
Yes, there are judging. There are categories. Right now, offhand, I do not know what they are. I believe you have the application that has categories in there. I know we usually have one for smaller businesses and then schools that put floats in there as well. Just try to help them with a little bit of the cost of doing a float, since floats sometimes aren't the cheapest, especially putting lights on it. That's just like an extra cost, where if you're in the Dairy Festival Parade or with the other one, you don't have to put the lights on it, so you can put that one in there, and then maybe we can help you a little bit with lights, putting it in the or in the parade as well. Okay.
Well, large business, small business, nonprofit organizations, churches, and schools.
Yes.
So 3 major categories.
Yeah, those 3. I'm sorry. Yes, and that's what they are. The large businesses. That prize is actually a traveling trophy that floats around. So we go and get it the day before the parade, and whoever wins, then we etch their name in the next plate, and then we give it to them for a year, and then we'll go get it back the start of 2017 parade season to hopefully give it to somebody else, or if they're a good float, they'll get it back again.
Well, all entries need to be motorized.
Yes, all entries need to be motorized. Well, I guess capable of moving along themselves. We do have a couple, as I said before, horses. Obviously,
could you put the horses on the trailer and then pull them through?
No, actually, some of them they'll actually ride their horses out there. They'll get those little battery packs on their hats, and then they'll put the battery pack of lights along the manes and the tails to give them a little bit of light.
Well, if not motorized, then able to keep up with parade speed.
Yeah, parade speed. I mean, it's not too terribly fast when we're walking down through there.
And is there like height? Let me read what this says. No taller than 13 and a half feet tall.
Yes, the reason why that is we do have a power line that goes across Conley Street, so we do actually start at Buford Park, down Conley, up Church Street to Houston, then back down to Gerald Prim Stadium. We do not go around the square anymore because the city usually has all their festivities down there as well. I don't know if they're doing anything like they did before. I know they usually have those white tigers or the snow slide. So we just go right in front of Alliance Bank, kind of between Alliance Bank and the courthouse, and then straight up Church Street to Houston.
Okay. And no Santas or Mrs. Santa?
Yes, we ask no Santa Clauses on the float because Santa Claus actually does make his way down from North Pole for our parade, and he sits at the end of the parade every year. Usually on the Sulphur Springs fire truck, we put him up there. So therefore, he doesn't like any imposters or any competition, I guess, when it comes to being Santa. So we only allow one Santa in the parade.
Okay. Now, of course, the parade put on for ever so long by Lions Club.
Yes, I actually don't know how long it's been going on. I know we used to have a daytime parade, and I think 6 or 7 years ago is actually when we switched over to the nighttime parade. But ever since, I mean, the nighttime parade is definitely fun. We enjoy it, and like you said, it definitely kicks off the Christmas season, especially here in Sulphur Springs, because I think also that night there's Heritage Park going on, and then all the festivities that are down on the square that the city puts on as well.
So you will want to say December 2nd, and that is Friday night, December 2nd.
Yes, Friday night, December 2nd, where you're going to kick off at 6:30 from Buford Park. Therefore, it's dark, gives people time to get off work, get down the square, or set up on the parade route to watch the floats come by.
What if you got everything ready perfectly and then you got to parade lineup and your lights weren't working?
We'll let you go. We've definitely had that before, or some people that actually lights were starting at the parade, and right when we start, they start going down the road. The inverter kills, or a fuse blows, or a generator runs out of gas, something of that nature. So there's definitely I guess some technical difficulties that people can run into, but we're just happy that you put a float into it. We do ask that it is lit, so we would like it to be lit, but in case of a technical difficulty, we'll still let you run to support the Lions Club and support the parade.
Absolutely. And people love to stand alongside and watch it go by.
Yes, they do love to, especially the kids. I mean, especially Christmas season, whether it's Santa Claus at the end or just the random business putting on a nativity scene or just some other Christmas theme. We do not have technically a theme for our Christmas parade, or it's just the Christmas season, so whatever you want to put in there. The big thing is, though, we do not ask any candy to be thrown. Since it is nighttime, kids running out in front of cars, it is a little bit harder to see than a daytime parade where you can kind of catch something like that happening around you.
Okay.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
Wildcats basketball team scrimmaged against Royce City and Denison at Royce City Thursday. It was the team's second and last scrimmage. Varsity, JV, and freshman teams were all in action. Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipolletta says his varsity outscored their opponents in every quarter. He says again that everybody contributed to the wins. Coach Cipolletta was especially pleased with the play of the Wildcats on defense. He continues to say that the Wildcats defense is actually ahead of the offense right now. Coach Cipolletta says Thursday the Wildcats managed to score at least 20 points a quarter, while often yielding 10 points or less. The Wildcats will open the regular season at Athens next Tuesday night at 6:30. Coach Cipolletta says he's tired of scrimmages and he's ready for a real game. He says Athens is a 4A school that went deep into the playoffs last year. Coach Cipolletta says they're also very athletic, and he says he schedules a solid team like Athens because they play a style that will get the Wildcats ready for teams that they'll be facing in district play. Here's the latest Wildcats football stats going into Friday night's by-district game against Mesquite Poteet in Lindale. Wildcats finished the regular season at 4-6 with a 3-3 district record. They're averaging 27 points a game for all 10 games this year, and they have allowed 32.3 points a game. In just the district games, the Wildcats scored 25.1 points a game and yielded 24.5 points a game. The Wildcats offense finished number 2 in district, averaging 359.3 yards per game. The Wildcats' defense was the district's 4th best, giving up 345.8 yards per game. On plus minus concerning turnovers, the Wildcats a +2. They've lost 6 fumbles and they've thrown 8 interceptions. That's 14 giveaways. Wildcats have recovered 11 fumbles and they have 5 interceptions for takeaways totaling 16, so that's +2. In rushing, back Cern Rogers leads the team with 611 yards. Back Colton Allen has added 464 yards, and back Cason Goodson has 283 yards. In passing, quarterback Ryan Humphreys was the district's 2nd best, completing 130 of 233 passes. That's 56%. For 1,753 yards with 16 touchdowns. In receiving, receiver Simeon Taylor was the district's 2nd best with 50 catches. Cortavius Pruitt has 18 catches. In punting, kicker Angel Tavera is the district's top punter, averaging 34.15 yards on 39 punts. In punt returns, Taylor averages 5.13 yards per return on 8 returns. In interceptions, safety DJ Abram is the team leader with 2. In scoring, Taylor has 42 points from 7 touchdowns, and in scoring by just kickers, Tavera has 37 points. That includes 25 successful extra point kicks and 4 field goals. In tackles and assists, linebacker Jackson Renault is the team leader with 52. Abram has 48. Linebacker Easton Silman, 46. Defensive lineman Deidrick Dugan has 43. And a couple of linebackers, Lawrence Worth and Daniel Marino, have 41 each. And the Wildcats have 21 sacks. Team leader Dugan with 8, and then defensive lineman Haven Tennyson with 5, and defensive lineman Cameron Cooks has 3, with Silman having 2. The Wildcats have recovered 11 fumbles, and cornerback Terrell Turman leads the team with 2.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
There's a reception in the high school library that you need to attend.